So everything that you guys are doing for us is just terrific. We really appreciate it.
Okay, good. Well, and then once we're done with you, we're going to shoot for Muppets Tonight.
No, we need to hurry and have them get seasons 4 and 5.
Muppets Tonight. We got to get that
show
on DVD next, after Great Space Coaster. Then Muppets Tonight.
Now, who owns Muppets Tonight?
I think it's Disney Channel.
Kermit.
See that? It's so confusing to me because who owns? What does Henson still own? What does Disney still own?
Anything Muppet
Sesame
brand
Street owns all of the Sesame Street characters.
Yeah.
But I'm still a little unclear as to what the Henson Company still maintained rights to. I know it's Fraggle Rock and Labyrinth, Dark Crystal.
Right. Anything with the Muppet brand name on it, Disney owns. However, Henson still creatively controls. Basically, the money just goes into the Disney wallet, and Henson still controls the creative. With Steve Whitmire and everybody behind the Muppet brand. Bear in the Big Blue House, which started out as Jim Henson and was purchased by Disney, now that money goes into the Disney wallet, but Henson still controls the creative behind that.
And don't we wish they would bring back Bear? What
yes!
a phenomenal show.
Oh, my gosh. Bear in the Big Blue House, who is also a friend of the Fun Day Paw Pet Show and will be at Megaplex in a way, in spirit at least.
Noel McNeil.
Yeah, Noel McNeil.
He's the guest of honor at Megaplex in Orlando.
I'm sure you're friends with Mr. McNeil. I'm sure because
Noel and I have worked together for many, many years. Yes, I would definitely say I am a friend of Noel. I think he's terrific. I love him and his family. Noel, as you remember, was Magellan the Dragon on Eureka's Castle.
Yes, he was.
You know, and he actually took over. If you remember, I said that John Lovelady, who played Knock Knock the Bird and Edison the Elephant, left the show. Noel took over the role of Knock Knock on the Great Space Coaster.
Yep. Oh my gosh, he was also Rabbit in the Book of Winnie the Pooh puppet show.
That's
right.
I mean, he just was. He did so much, and he even took. What was that other role that he took over?
Oh, he did. He took over for Lionel in Between the Lions.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Between the Lions, and he still does that. He came to Pittsburgh. Noel came to Pittsburgh to do an event at the Toonseum and the August Wilson Center about a year and a half ago, and he brought Lionel with him, and the kids went crazy. Do you know Noel wrote a book? He wrote this wonderful book called 5 Minute Puppetry.
I have it with me, in fact.
We're going to flash it on the screen.
Hold on, let me pull it out here real quick.
Yeah, I got him to sign it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, here is the book, right here. In fact, 10 Minute Puppets.
And you can get that on Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're coming to
10 Minute
Megaplex.
Puppet.
Yeah, if you're coming
sorry, I said 5 minutes. Takes a little longer with Noel. It's 10 minutes. Not fast as
10 whole minutes.
Oh, my.
But
I'm 4.5 minute puppet.
Yeah. But what we're going to do, Jim, we're going to continue talking about the Great Space Coaster throughout the week on Twitter, and I'm sure our viewers are going to spread the word, and we're going to see what we can do our best to help you reach that $2,000 goal and kickstart the program.
Thank you so very, very much. And I feel pretty confident that if Uncle Kage and all of the powers that be give their blessing, Gary will do some sort of performance at Anthrocon this year.
Oh,
I hear all the Pittsburgh hotels are booked already, or almost already, for Anthrocon.
Yeah, 3 of them are full. 3 of the 5 are completely filled. There's 1 main and 4 overflow. The main hotel, 100% booked. 2 of the overflow hotels, the entire room block is booked. And the remaining 2, the ones that are a little further away, they still have a few rooms left.
And all of Midwest is empty on lasagna wraps. Sorry.
On what?
Lasagna. That's
a really inside joke there.
The Fernando's
We're just going to
food.
delete that joke completely.
You had to be there.
Rewind. So, very good.
It's not that it's a bad joke. I'm having a hard time hearing because there's so many voices talking at one time.
That's okay.
Really,
No,
there's only one person
Trust us,
on the show.
it's a bad joke.
Okay.
It's
all
like
right.
a joke, only not the funny kind.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you go, Jim. And like I said, we're going to continue trying to help you raise a little more money. We'll see where we can get to by the end of night. And we're going to do our best to help you reach that $2,000 goal by next Sunday.
Ezra, thank you so much.
Would you be willing to call in next Sunday? We can give you a final total.
That would be terrific, yes.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to hearing from you and or Gary next week.
What a nice guy. You ruled, dude. Thank you very much for calling in and just being a wonderful person.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thanks for helping us out. I mean, this is all the money that we raise is just going directly to, digitizing these shows and that. So it's not like we're doing this to make money. I'm just trying to save the show. It's 30-some years old. I know a lot of people have no idea what the show is, but I think it's a really good part of television history, and it's one of those few non-Muppet puppet shows that really, got a lot of kids interested in puppets and music and animation. So I think it's a very valuable show. And thank you so much for helping me save it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for helping bring Gary and all his friends, back here, and we're going to do our best to get them preserved.
Yep. In pickle juice.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
No problem.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Woo! Jim Martin, ladies and gentlemen.
And Gary Gnu.
Very cool. Wow, nonstop. And
Gary was my favorite character on the Space Coaster.
He is clearly the most memorable character. I mean, if you can go up to 10 people, even if they haven't watched the show, and just name one person from the show, they got to go Gary Gnu, because that catchphrase was just viral.
Yeah, like I said, that's the only character I remember from the show.
I didn't know he was on the show.
Yeah, what was really funny is at the year that Jim was guest of honor, he actually talked about being Gary and how he developed the character. And Gary originally was supposed to be like Walter Cronkite. And he said as the show went on, something was happening, and Jim was getting a little irritated, and Gary was getting angrier and angrier as he was performing.
But that's kind of what made it funny.
But that's what made Gary's personality. And they kept saying, "Yeah, just keep him angry, just keep him frustrated."
That's why
and angry."
people love Donald Duck, because he's allowed to get pissed off. So when you see a character that's a news anchor that just gets PO'd like that, you
Right.
want to watch.
But so that was how Gary Gnu got that kind of really gruff, angry-sounding demeanor. Is he just kind of got frustrated, and they ran with it.
I bet the adults who had to watch the show were like, "Thank goodness we got a."
There was
character we
talk
can
in
enjoy."
channel about how people were talking about like old TV shows that had issues with like kind of like I've learned over the years of just with our show trying to maintain archives of shows that are 10 years old
Right.
is a challenge because the tapes degrade. So we found that out the hard way where we were using tapes that were recycled, recycled 1,000 times because in some days, in some early shows, they couldn't afford those tapes.
Right.
So they would erase over them to get the show recorded.
Yeah.
So I know that even with our own show, we had a hard time with some of our early shows where the tapes just never played back. And I don't have perfect archives of some of those old shows that we had back in our history.
Right.
So even our own archive is missing
Perfect
copies. So I mean, maintaining and getting tape, especially now that his tapes are 37 years old. Now, granted, they were better taken care of than ours were, but they, like they said, where he was talking about baking them. That was a very true thing to do with a lot of open reel tapes, where the magnetic side of the tape got sticky. And it would actually rub off if you ran it across a metal tape head. That sticky magnetic media would come off the vinyl of or the plastic of the tape. So literally, and I've seen it done. People would take these open reels and stick them in the oven at a low temperature for like an hour to get the stickiness of the tape to glue back to the adhesive.
Right, but it degrades a little bit of the video quality, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, just taking a tape and setting it out just putting a tape on the counter. It will degrade like 50% in 10 years just sitting on a counter. Yeah. Because they literally say the best place to put videotape, VHS or cassettes or whatever, was to store it. Like if you're in your house, they actually made a joke, put it in your oven. Reason being is the oven is a metal box. That metal box keeps the Earth's magnetism from erasing the tapes.
Oh, like an Indiana Jones. You put it inside the metal box and it's protected from the bomb.
But because the Earth's magnetism, the north-south compass that makes a compass needle spin, actually over time erases tape. So if anybody has VHS tapes from the 80s,
I do,
and they put them in their VCR and try to watch them today, you'll notice they look like crap.
Well, the tracking is usually off. I actually did that when I was in Houston. The tracking is off, and it kind of adjusts every once in a while.
Well, that's because the tape had degraded. It's losing its sync. The sync on the tape is going away.
Very degrading.
You know, funny thing also about they were talking about recycled material. For those that are Hanna-Barbera fans, if you're a fan of the simple Hanna-Barbera animation from the 70s,
Or if you're a twee,
or Tree,
you like to recycle.
yeah. But what they did, and why a lot of Hanna-Barbera 70s animation cells are so rare, when they made animation cells in the late 60s and early 70s for TV series, Hanna-Barbera was on a very limited budget because they were running lots of commercial programming with limited budget. And so they would actually wash the cells. They would remove the ink and paint off of cells, and then they would reuse them until they just couldn't do it anymore.
With the dip.
So, like one of my favorite characters, Hong Kong Phooey, there are very, very few production cells left. I actually am very lucky. I have a few of them. And I've heard the story about how they took an entire season of television shows. They saved a few of the cells that they really liked, and then all the rest of them went into this chemical bath. It was basically the dip. They dipped the cells and they washed them and then repainted like 1974's shows over the 1973s on the cells.
That's killing cartoon characters.
They did.
Acetone,
They did.
benzene,
Yes.
turpentine.
Something like
That makes the dip. And you're killing the cartoon characters.
You know what? I can kill you. Look.
Ah! The
All
dip.
over
That's
you.
a bad dip.
Well, you do
It's
have to
treated.
admit, though, there was a time that a lot of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
it was like they were being created and named by 2 years old. Squiddly Diddly, Augie Doggy, Doggy Daddy. It's
Well-
like, we're out of ideas. What do? Bring in somebody's kid.
Well, they went for a lot of alliteration.
But good to recycle. Stay green.
Stay green. Says Forrest.
Dead
Forrest
forest,
the
you
tree.
must stay green.
And everybody, continue donating. Even if you can give $5, help Jim out. He's a good friend of the show. He's a good friend of a lot of us.
I wanted to
Help me
raise
out.
money to restore Fern Gully.
Restore Fern Gully.
I was in Fern Gully.
You were the fern.
I was. I went to Fern Gully. I went to forest. I went to bush.
I would say that's a movie that didn't age well, but I thought it was crappy
That's-
the first time around, too.
Does everybody think this is one bush that needs to be trimmed?
No. I'm
Like a
part of the everybody, and I say no.
Like a 70s porn star.
99.9 says yes, but I veto.
Trim that bush.
For people that are asking, the squeaky noises are being made by Bandit.
Banish. See, he listens to Tweet.
Hey, we can set you on fire. You could be the burning bush from.
Well,
Ten
he
Commandments.
knows if I run away, then he can't pee anywhere.
Can we set you on fire?
So what time is it?
You
No.
may not.
You could be the
It's
burning
almost
bush from the
8.
Ten Commandments. Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock.
That was all CG. Of course, it was me at the bush, but I said no, so I shut up.
Hey, more people are donating. Thank you so much. I know Jim's going to be really happy.
Look,
when he
there's
sees
way
this
too much
number.
money being thrown around, okay? Where does money come from? Paper. Where does paper come from? Me.
This is electronic money.
It comes from like a cloth. It's not
No,
really.
this is being
paper.
electronically
Is it-
transferred. It's green.
Digital?
It's digital.
Oh,
It's
very
green.
kind of you. Okay,
Yes.
give as much as you want. It's all credit card.
No, this is
No
all.
one really pays.
No, it's all real money being transferred from bank to bank.
No, it's all dip.
No.
You don't really pay for any, but you just promise. And then
But-
you go, oh.
But
All
lots
right, I
of
gotta go.
$25 donors. That's so awesome. Lots of people donating $25. Lots of people donating $5. And that's awesome, too. Very awesome.
I'm going to ask people in the tweet community
To
to see
donate.
if they can help donate as well.
Yes. And it'll all be
'Cause we
electric.
like puppeteering too.
It'll be electric. It'll all be stored digitally. It'll be green.
And well,
It will. It'll be digital, so no paper involved.
but that's true. And the electricity comes from oil,
That's right.
not from tweets.
No, not from
Oh
tweets.
yeah, I like this. This is how making me happy. I'm getting wood.
I'm sick now.
So now what you gonna do on the show? All the cool stuff's over. Now you're just gonna look at each other.
Do we